Joining us now from Capitol Hill to give us his take on the passage of the debt limit compromise just moments ago in the House, Republican Congressman Darrell Issa of California, the chairman of the House Oversight Committee. Congressman, great to have you with us. You've just voted. How tough was that vote for you personally?
Well, it was no tougher for me than it was for Gabby Gifford, who had to come back from nearly being murdered to make a yes vote tonight. I think people on both sides of the aisle realize that we've got to turn the ship of state. This may not be all that I'd like it to be, and it may be more than Gabby Gifford wanted it to be, but it's a start toward getting back to fiscal responsibility, and I think that's why this vote was important.
What is there about this legislation that gives you the greatest pause and concern?
Probably the fact that so little is being done in the first year and so much is being left to a bipartisan, bicameral group of members. But, you know, sometimes you do the art of the possible in Congress, and this is what was possible today. And it's what will be possible tomorrow is for my committee to find more of that waste, organizational changes, the kinds of things that will allow us to hit those numbers and more, perhaps.
And Congressman, as I'm sitting here talking with Joyce Kaufman, from South Florida, David Webb from New York, Tea Party activists who are very critical of the legislation and make it very clear they had profound objections to this measure. Is it, in your judgment, a possibility or the case that the Tea Party is overplaying its hand when so many of its members have voted against the legislation tonight?
Well, I don't think the Tea Party can overplay its role. If not for bringing us some of these freshmen, we absolutely wouldn't have had this vote tonight. We wouldn't have been able to have a majority. We wouldn't have been able to begin change. And I don't blame anyone who's dissatisfied that this isn't enough, that if we controlled both houses plus the presidency, we could have done far more, far sooner. But having said that, it's a start. It's a down payment. And I look forward to the Tea Party and all people who care about the future of our children and grandchildren to keep pushing for more. We've got to make this country competitive again, and that includes reducing the size of government.
Now, you talked about politics as the art of the possible. This measure, as imperfect and as contested as it has been, was unthinkable a year ago. It just would never have happened, would it, without the Tea Party?
Well, basically, a year ago, they were passing Obamacare, including a 3% tax increase, huge spending increase, and no sign of going any direction but the wrong direction. So the about face, thanks to the American people, and the Tea Party personifies that change in opinion of the American people from voting for Obama to voting for Speaker John Boehner and the team that today delivered a change in direction, maybe smaller than we'd like, but a change in direction we can build on.
And you believe, indeed, that you will build on it?
We will build on it. My committee is absolutely going to build on it with a number of major proposals, including cost savings in the federal workforce. Things that have been off limits up until now are going to be on limits. Even possibly the changing of how we treat our military to try to make it more efficient and less costly. That's something that's in this bill that we may have to do. We're going to work on it on a very strong basis with the Armed Services Committee. We've got to, Lou. We cannot afford the government we've created or the entitlement system that so many have learned to depend on far more than they should.
Congressman Darrell Issa, chairman of the House Oversight Committee. Congressman, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Lou.